Hi everybody, Martyn the Flicking Feathers again today. I'm tying this West Island Golden Olive Hedgehog. It's a good wee pulling fly, can fish well in the point or the dropper. I would say this is more of a wet hedgehog than a dry fly, although I mean it will work in both situations. As always, I'll put a materials list in the description, along with a link to the Patreon page for anybody who wants to support the channel. Get access to the members only content, the monthly online tying sessions, and be entered into the giveaways. You can also subscribe, hit the bell button so you get notified of the new videos. That's all, appreciate it. So we've got my hook, my vise. This is a 170 or Kamasan, size 12. You can use a B175 as well if you want. There's enough buoyancy to float one of them in the deer hair wing too. It's up to yourself. I'm running around, I've got some Uni 8/0 in fire orange, and I'm just making a wee tag around the bend like that, and I'm just going to put a half hitch in just to sort of separate that, if you like, from the rest of the tying. It just means that if that thread bursts after a few fish, you know, it's not going to unravel from the rest of the fly. Wee bit of varnish just to protect it as well. Bring my thread up the front, and I'm going to get some flash. This is a golden pearl mix. It's quite a soft flash. It's Dave Downey's razor flash. It's the Dave's Damsel mix, the golden pearl. But use a flash that you like, and I just catch that and just draw it back. Better square up the ends here. I notice there's a couple that are a wee bit shorter. I don't want to lose those extra strands of flash. Do that again. And this is what I would say, like, the flash, and it's a wee bit heavier dressed. This is what I sort of think it makes it more of a pulling hog than a dry fly. But they're versatile. So just catch that, pull it in, and then keeping it on top, work my way back to the tag there. Tail length, up to yourself really. I don't want it too long, maybe a wee bit less than a shank, 3/4 of a shank, something like that. Now I'm going to get some dubbing, so it's West Island Golden Olive Silver. Now it's a dead simple fly really to tie. I'm just going to put on a tiny wee pinch. I just like a wee amount before my first bunch of hair, because the flash tail's in. I'm not using deer hair for the tail, so I just have a tiny amount here of hair, a silver I should say, before I tie the hair in, just to sort of lift it a wee bit. And I've got some roe deer, also dyed West Island Golden Olive. I'm not going to stack it, but I'm just going to take away any short hairs, any rubbish at the bottom. Now there's a couple there that are really long, so I'm just going to touch it with my fingertip just to knock them a wee bit closer to the same length. And I'll tie this so that the tips are just coming to the back of the flash there, and then tie back nice and secure, and that's fine. Trim that away. I'll just tidy up. And I'm just going to repeat my dubbing. It's not a very exciting fly to tie, but I mean, they're very effective. I quite like fishing the hedgehog on the point with two sort of imitative, you know, if there's fish feeding in midges up near the top, you can put a hedgehog in the point. Sometimes a fish will come up and eat it anyway, but also it'll hold maybe like a couple of duck fly patterns or something like that on the droppers just up in the first few inches of the water. It can be very, very effective. So just making sure I've got enough dubbing on here. I'm going to repeat my hair. And you can tie them as heavy, well, within reason, as heavy as you want or as light as you want. Generally, when I'm tying the ones that I'm going to use predominantly for pulling, I make them a wee bit heavier, and if it's one that I've used a dry fly, I tie them a wee bit lighter. But that's just personal preference really. Length of this, a wee bit shorter. Right, basically I want the hair to be the same length, right? But obviously you've moved forward, so the tips should be shorter overall. Just hold the tips, don't worry about the butt pieces, just get the thread through them a couple of times. I like to sort of pinch it sideways to make sure it's not twisted, and then you can press it down to sort of widen it. It's quite nice if it's slightly wide, but I don't want it rolling. Another bit dubbing. I'm going to dub back, and then I'll run my threads through. That just strengthens that. Now, the number of wings, well, it's up to you. I'm going to put another 2 on, it'll be 4 overall, and then a wee bit at the head. You could tie the gaps, you could make the gaps smaller, put in a 5th wing. You can add an extra wing at the front. You know, you could have 6 overall. Just tie them how you like them. I'm a big fan of the hedgehogs though. Actually, I know some folk talk about this hedgehog with a hackle, but I think this is the better fly. Same again, just a bunch, get it locked in, ignore the butts, just keep a hold of the tips, lift them, give them that wee sideways pinch, and then you can spread it. And I mean, size wise, 10 down to 14, 12 I would say is the most useful on a hedgehog, but it will depend largely on where you're fishing. And just repeat with the dubbing. Again, I'm taking the dubbing back. And we're ready for the last bunch. Well, the last bunch that I'm putting on this, although I will show you, just to show you a final one if you want, on the front. So Same again. Snap that away. And then I'm going to get a wee bit more dubbing to finish it off. Again, you don't need an awful lot. Take my thread through it. And there you've got that. Now I'm going to quick finish this, but just before I do, I'll show you another way to finish the head. And it works very well. You can get another bunch of hair. I'm just using the same stuff. I mean, you could use a contrasting colour or whatever you like. You can get your size and you can just secure it and then come through. There's 3 wraps. You would put a couple of turns in front. Get a wee squash. And then just trim it like an elk here. And basically you would push it back. And you get a wee sort of water pushing head on the front, which can be very effective rather than a full muddler. But I'll just take that away. I'm just going to finish this one here. Two whips is fine. Bit of varnish. Clean the eye. And then just come in, bring that seal fur into the deer hair. Brush it out a wee bit, and there you go. That's your fly. Very effective. West Island Golden Olive Hedgehog. So I hope that was useful. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up below. Subscribe to the channel. Take lines, guys. Bye.